That was some sweet sounding rumble, right? Well, hard to believe, but this sound is coming from the stock pipes of the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. This is not your regular thump. This is a rumble, quite like a Triumph. Well, that's because of the parallel twin engine that we have on this motorcycle. Now, even though I'm a big fan of how this motorcycle sounds, I'm not particularly a very big fan of how this exhaust looks. I think Royal Enfield has made a beautiful looking motorcycle, no doubt. It's got classic lines. This is timeless styling. I think a 60s, 70s motorcycle would look the same, and years down the line, I still think this motorcycle is going to look as good as it does today. Howsoever, the one area of styling that I do not like is the way these end cans have been designed. They're just too big, in my opinion. Now, aesthetics are something which is a personal choice. So, while I might find them to be too big, some of you might not, and that's pretty much okay, to each their own. So, I love the sound, I really do, but these pipes, they have to go. So what I did was, I started looking for aftermarket options. Royal Enfield were making an exhaust in collaboration with S&S for this motorcycle, but those exhausts are not out yet. It's been over 3 months that I've had this bike, and I just want to change the way the exhausts look. So I started looking for local options, since none of the international manufacturers have started making for this motorcycle. The first one that I was told about were Red Rooster. I believe they are based in Bangalore. I'm not too sure about that. So they've got a beautiful sounding exhaust. It's pretty loud, and it looks just about the same. It comes in this chrome finish. Now, again, I ruled that out because it's just too big for my liking. And part of the reason why I'm changing the exhaust, well, most of the reason why I'm changing the exhaust is because of aesthetics. I do not want extra performance from my exhaust. I don't. This motorcycle has adequate performance for the purpose that I'm going to use it for. I use this motorcycle for touring, and I also use this motorcycle for commuting. I'm not I don't use this bike for spirited riding. For that, I have my street triple right behind me. So the modification that we're going to carry out today is purely an aesthetic mod. Now, Red Rooster was ruled out. So what do? I got to know about this brand called AEW. It stands for Ashu Engineering Works. I had never heard of it. I'm going to be very honest about it. But when I saw their design, what they've done is they've created an exhaust for this bike which sort of emulates the Vance and Hines look. The Vance and Hines retro end cans, that stainless steel finish that come for the Street Twin. And also they look a bit similar to the S&S pipes that will be out. I have no idea when. So I got in touch with the owner. I asked him that, the exhaust that they made initially, it did not have the provision for a baffle, and it was fairly loud. So that is something that I did not want. I do not want a loud exhaust. I wanted something which is quiet, which stays true to the exhaust note of this motorcycle. I wanted that rumble. So I asked the owner, Shakil, I said, would it be possible for you to make a version with a baffle in it? He seemed very enthusiastic, and he said yes, and he said give me about a week, 10 days. Week 10 days later, he did tell me that he has managed to create the same very exhaust, the same very look, with the provision to add a baffle in it. So I went ahead and ordered it. I ordered it on Friday, and the exhaust reached me by Tuesday. It costs 15,500 rupees. And now we will unbox it and install it on the motorcycle, and this is the one that I opened. So this is what it looks like. This is how these exhausts come. Right. So guys, this is how it's packaged. Both the end cans are protected. For the purpose of this video, I have already unboxed one so that you guys don't get bored. This is the baffle, we'll just unbox it. And yes, so this is what the exhaust looks like. It's fairly light, it's under 2 kilos. We will weigh it and compare it to the other one. So if you see, it's got the stainless steel finish. It's very looks quite like what Vance and Hines does. So I can see that the branding is laser etched here. It's AEW Pune. It's TIG welding. It seems to have very good build quality. It says AEW Pune here as well. Their website is called talkexhaust.com. As this is what it looks like from the inside. This is the back side. So if you can see that the way they've closed the exhausts, there is a seam that runs through here. It's a little unfinished, but it doesn't matter because this is the portion that will be facing the tire and definitely never visible to anybody. So this is okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just stick it next to the stock pipe and see. Yeah. Do you see how small this is compared to the stock one? It's time to weigh the exhausts. Well, the exhausts are so light that my weighing scale would not register them. I think it needs at least 5 kilos for it to be able to tell the weight. So let's take them off and let's put a kettlebell on it, and then let's add this and see again. So guys, this is an 8 kilo kettlebell. Now I'm gonna add all of the weight together so that we can subtract it, and then let's see. And first place these. Do you see this, guys? It's 11.8. Let's also put the baffles on here. The baffles would be what, 100 grams each. So that's less than 4 kilos for 2 exhausts. 3.8 kilos for these two. They protrude outwards quite a lot, and they're just too big in my opinion. The diameter is also really big. So let's take them off now. I need to undo 3 bolts. I need to undo this one. I need to take off this one, and I need to take this screw off. This is a 10 mm bolt. So when you take this bolt off, you have to slide this heat shield off to access this bolt. Okay. Wow, this is heavy. Okay, 5 kilos. So not 7 as I thought. This is just 5. Okay. So that means there will be a weight reduction of about 6 kilos on the motorcycle with the new exhausts. This is what it looks like without any pipes. Installing it is a fairly easy process. I don't even think I had to. Let's see. Okay, this goes here. I'm gonna clamp it. I'll tighten the bolts down later. Let me just first. These are the washers that were there on the stock bike. Need this thing for it. Yeah. Taking the stock exhaust off took a bit of effort. Installing these took just barely 5 minutes, I would say. I think the motorcycle looks much better with these exhausts. I still haven't installed the baffle in because I'm getting late for work. I'll just give you guys a listen how this exhaust sounds now. There is definitely a lot of bass now. It's louder, it's much louder at idle. Time to put the baffle in. Now, oh God. Oh God. Now this is a problem. So this doesn't have a dedicated slot. So the baffle just slides in. So I would ideally tell everybody to just, I would advise you guys to install the baffle first and then install the pipes. Now I'll have to pull the baffle out and then just figure out how to install it, because this doesn't have a dedicated slot. The baffle just sort of screws in, it sits in. So let's see, let me try and just fix the mess that I've made. I had to take the exhaust off. That's partly because when I was installing the baffle in it, as soon as I added the baffle, it just slipped in because the angle of the exhaust, it sits like this, it's in like this. So even when I was able to pull the baffle out, the next time when I was installing it, I dropped the Allen key in. Call me clumsy or call it slightly difficult to do. That's your choice. But this time I've taken the exhaust out and I'm just gonna first install the baffle and then I'm going to, put it back on the bike. It's not the most convenient thing to do. Also, the baffle is installed. Time to put this pipe back on the motorcycle and then I'll get you guys to hear it. This is what it looks like with the baffle. I think this is a 28mm baffle. Now I'll quickly just fire up the motorcycle so that you can hear it. It's nice. It's still well, I think it's slightly loud, but it's okay. Let's ride it and see, because it doesn't matter what a motorcycle really sounds like at idle.